Here's a talk about talking to ghosts and, sort of why an analogy. I'll tell the story as an analogy for why most people sort of get a bad feeling when it comes to talking to ghosts. Um, Probably I would say most of the buckets of thought regarding this is most people just dismiss it. Hope it's not something that they'll just focus on mundane things, work and stuff like that. Other people sort of cringe at the thought of it because it can cause sort of a type of sort of difficulty of, like if a ghost is won't leave you alone. That's a pretty bad um, sort of situation, and if you don't specifically know how to deal with that, just leads to bad emotions. But my whole life, I've pretty much had the ability to talk directly to ghosts, or ghosts will sometimes talk to me here and there. No big deal, but I don't really have evidence to back it up. But just because um, I've kind of seen a lot of different people's take on the subject, because watching sort of spiritual YouTube channels and stuff like that. And I'll tell you one time. So I have I think it was on my mother's side of the family, when I was about 8 or 9, possibly 10. I think maybe, yeah, 8 or 9. Her grandfather, so my mother's grandfather, so my great grandfather, he was pretty old, probably 90, 95. Um, and this is probably back in like 1987, 88, or something like that. And so he just passed away from old age. I didn't know the guy. I had known of him on that line of my family. They're Mormon, and so I remember my grandmother, who's Mormon, often would make a big deal about her lineage. So I had actually heard her talk about her father more than I had actually ever met him. But I was aware of him, but I just never met him, never really spent time with him. Maybe, I think, just one time when I was very young. I wasn't close to him at all. I had no connection to him, really. I had just seen a few pictures on the shelf. Really. Uh, we ended up going over to the church for the funeral. And so, because I didn't know him, I was sort of just going as a formality, like with my family. And I remember thinking, like, oh, I want to go, because church is sort of boring if you're a kid. You want to get the hell out of there and go back and go do something fun with your friends. That's sort of what I was thinking. And then I remember in this ceremony, there was quite a few people there, probably a couple hundred people. So he, had a fairly decent, size family and friends. I was down in the back of this church or whatever, and all of a sudden, this is probably about a 30-minute sort of ceremony, or ritual, or what, talk, people sort of sharing experiences about this guy. And all of a sudden I felt this presence come over the back of my shoulders, right? This very cold presence. And it was saying something. And it was saying basically, I don't want to die. Right? This thing was like soup with like grief and with terror. And I remember just like it just occupied the same space as me. And I sort of started feeling that exact emotion. And all of a sudden I just started crying. And he, like, I could, this presence was saying, and I was like kind of with my family too. So this is very sort of strange. And I knew that the presence of this person was right here. And basically, I think because of out of this whole room of people, the reason he was basically attaching to me, was because somehow I was the only one who was really like talking with him or able to just like, you know, talk to him. And so it was very weird. I like literally started crying, and I felt like I really knew this person. I felt exactly how he felt. I knew he was really scared of death. I knew he didn't really like his family that much, which I thought was funny. Like he wasn't gonna miss me, or he wasn't gonna miss his kids, and he didn't really like the church, and he wasn't really gonna miss anyone. He was just more scared because he felt like he didn't want to have to go to hell, or I don't know, something like that, which I understand. And anyway, so I just felt these tears come on, right? And after I cried, I felt really good. I felt like, oh wow, like all that grief was gone. And we left the church and then went home. And I actually sort of just was like, wow, I kind of tried to put it out of my mind, because I was sort of like, wow, like, because talking to ghosts, like, how do you get rid of them?